everybody. Come one, come all, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to Insanity. That's right, this week, it's been insane, people. It's been insane, Colt. Hasn't it been?
I've known you for so long, and you surprise me every week, bro. You're awesome.
I mean, it's been an insane week. I see people in the chat already gathering. What's up, everyone? Yeah, the circus has come to town. And that circus is Sony and its fan base, apparently. Most of them, anyway. There's some people out there. There's some people out there who are pretty sane and have sane takes. But to defend a company, we're going to get into all that today. We will, okay? I apologize. Oh,
wait, what was that sound?
Oh, look, I've got my donations and stuff up on stream now. It works. I fixed it. Whoa, I've been working on that. Thank you, Hargeet. Thank you very much, buddy. He says, super chat from Hargeet. Thank you. He says, can't wait for today's sponsor ad. Oh, yes, I have a doozy. I have an ad. I have one, a new one. Some of you may have seen it, but it's new. I'm telling you, I put it together. It's new. Just because I took it from somebody else doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You might have seen it. What's up, everybody? Boba Fett Gaming, Decado, UK Lad. It's Timmy, One Bad Mother. I see you all, guys. Crispy Bomb. So many good people here. Thank you for coming in today. And I know they're here for you, Colt. Colt,
these are all our friends. These are.
I know. You know what's cool
that we see in all the shows that we like to watch. Your show,
exactly.
Yeah.
Charlie Hustle's here. Jedi Knight Peter, he's here.
Bit Rinaldi in the chat.
Infinite Umbra, just some great people. People that are listening on Apple Podcasts and stuff are like, who are these people? Like, why is he always shouting these guys out? They're amazing people. That's who they are. Yeah. They come to the live chat. Those of you listening all the time on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, I appreciate you guys too. You're amazing as well. But come on over to the live chat and just have a blast. It's a lot of fun. We get great guests here, or at least I think they're great. Colt is one of the best, in my opinion. And I have him here today because we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. But before we do, Colt, I just want to talk to you a bit. I know a lot of people may not know this. Maybe you do. If you're in party chats with Colt, you'll know he's a singer. And last night, he got the band together, folks. He really got the band together. They went out and they performed. How did that go, sir?
It went pretty good. It was a really posh, bougie event. It was at the mountain resort that's pretty pricey. And when we got there, they had all the tables set up. Like, just imagine, like, we're gonna put on a little rock show, and all the tables were like tablecloths and centerpiece and wine glasses because it's a winery / thing. And we're like, oh no, like we're gonna be doing Pour Some Sugar on Me and like it's some other kind of loud songs, and we're like, what do we do? And the guitarist goes, hey, we're this is what we got hired for. We're doing it the way we're doing it, and we had a good time. And
that's great.
Got home last night, and I didn't lose my voice, so it was good. Did a lot of singing, had a good time, and it's just such a different thing, Fonz, being in front of a microphone when it's music than being like on a podcast.
You talk a lot, like podcasts and your videos. So, I mean, you keep it trained. You keep that voice trained, and that's what you need. And
well, here's the best part.
Still a rock star,
you and I run a weekly show, and like we get to, like we talk about our friends here in the chat. Mm-hmm. We get to engage with the chat. We talk to an audience. Sometimes our videos see 1,000 people. And here I was in front of a couple hundred people, and the bass player goes, talk to the crowd. Well, I mean, your podcast see 1,000 people.
I get like 30
every week,
people.
Right?
Yeah, like maybe 35 on a good day.
No, I'm look at your last week's podcast. How many views they have, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the point I'm getting at is like we talked to a lot of people, but like the bass player goes, say something to the crowd, and I'm like, for the first time, I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Colt Eastwood, and they're like, who's Colt Eastwood?
So yeah, anyway, that was my awesome. Awkward moment. Like, here I've been talking to people forever for a year plus, and on my show.
You couldn't say anything. Yeah, Pixel
like,
Bit G.
I'll talk to the crowd on the mic. I'm like, high. Nah, but anyway, I'm glad to be here.
But Pixelbit G says he's really enjoying this dynamic duo. People really enjoy when we get together on this podcast, man. We always have a lot of fun. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, we've been friends for like 5 years, bro. I'm so glad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's over 5 years now. Brigadier's Blue, thank you very much for the super chat. He says it's been a spicy news week, and that means it'll be even a spicier GTL. Don't forget to hit the like button and maybe even hit up the new merch store. That's right. I do have a merch store. I tried to link it to YouTube, but for some reason, nothing shows up, and there's just an issue there. But
you can have previews of your products, and it doesn't
it's not
always
showing.
work.
Yeah, it's not working. But
so hey guys, Fonz is doing his best.
I'm doing my best.
Doing the very best he can.
I'm trying. Like I use my phone, a Bluetooth. I've got smart pads. I've got Stream Deck. I'm just trying to produce a show here and get it all right. And sometimes I make a lot of mistakes, and I apologize. But I'm doing my best. I'm also taking voice acting classes. I told you guys. And I'm auditioning for video games and cartoons and all kind of stuff because I want to break into the industry, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I'm really kind of focusing on that right now. I'm really doing like exercises, voice exercises, breath exercises, stuff like that to try to really hone in on that craft. I respect what voice actors do so much, Colt, since I've been learning more about it. It's crazy.
It entails all that, right?
It does.
You wouldn't think it at all.
Yeah. Those guys, they put in work, man. My hat's off to him.
Troy Baker, the next Troy Baker.
Troy Baker. Yeah, right. more like the next guy who gave you that silly ad in the 80s or something about, what is it? I've fallen, I can't get up.
Fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah. Anyways, Colt, we are here. What have you been playing lately, sir?
Okay, now this is kind of a point of contention, Fonz, but can you bear with me on this? Because I know people would like get kind of mad or make fun, but
okay.
I as a total sucker. Let me make this quick, but Monday night I watched Skill Up's review of Saints Row, watched for 30 minutes, agreed with everything he was saying, knew I would expect the same thing from the game. And while I was watching, I'm like, I'm still buying it when I get done with the video because I want something new to play. Mm-hmm. And so I watched his review, bought the game, sat down and played it. That night, I was kind of angry. Like, I don't normally get angry at a game. I was like, this series used to be so great. And like, what is this? The next morning, I'm playing it and talking to dealer, and I'm having a little more fun. Then later on, I kind of like threw away this game isn't going to be cool. It's just going to be fun. And I started to forgive some of the cringe. But basically, I've been having a really good time running around, driving around, shooting around in this world, knowing full well it does far less than the last like major Saints Row 3 game, right? But I don't know. That's my story. I'm really enjoying Saints Row, and I shouldn't. Chat, have at it with me.
Yeah, let's discuss Saints Row since we're on the topic. Let's go ahead and discuss this disaster of a game, just like it's a disaster of my logo not showing up here on my show. It just says live, and my Games Talk is not showing up. I don't know what's going on, people.
I think people know what the show is, but don't let it bother you.
Saints Row. Okay. So,
Saints Row, yeah. So you're playing it. I was able to get you a code, wasn't I, Mr. Fonz?
Oh, we're not doing
look out
this.
For you, bro.
See what I do? I push buttons like an idiot, and I get everything messed up. There it is. I fixed it. You see that? That's all it took. But anyway, Saints Row, I like to call it terrible fun. Okay? Because
okay,
this game, I'm having some fun with it, yes. There is fun to be had here. If you like, if you want to go back to like 2007 and play a game that feels every bit of 2007, play this game because it really doesn't
slightly better animations. Let me pause you there.
Go ahead.
Somebody put up on Twitter this morning, somebody I follow put up gameplay footage of Saints Row 2. And I kid you not, on my phone, I was on my phone, for a few seconds, I thought it was the new Saints Row. And the character was kind of running a little more upright. And I'm like, what's going on? And I read the tweet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how this game like barely looks better than Saints Row 3 and still kind of looks like 2. But go ahead.
It's kind of polished, right? You've got the high resolution. You've got some ambient occlusion going on, this ray tracing that
There's
they're
nice
using.
lighting.
It's
Sunset looks
decent.
cool.
It's decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the gameplay.
What did you
the
call it?
gameplay is terrible fun. The gameplay.
It's terrible fun, Colt. That's all I can say.
Anyways, so the game itself it plays like a 2007 game. It just does. It plays like every other Saints Row, which if you like that, cool. The story's really cringy and dumb, but I was being told that it got better as it went on, but I don't know. Jury's still out on that. That's coming from somebody that I do trust, but I don't know about the story. But the gameplay, I'm having fun with just it being a sandbox open world game. That's the kind of, that's my jam, man. That's the kind of stuff I like. So I'm sitting there playing that and having fun with it. But at the same time, I have gone into menus several times, Colt, and it locks up and I have to restart the game. And this has happened like 3 times within a couple hours. And I'm sorry, but in today's day and age, we should not be beta testers. I know a lot of people out there. Can you believe there's people defending these bugs out there? It blows my mind.
Oh, I mean, I haven't heard people defending
somebody out there. Well, okay, so
it is quite possible to have.
There's somebody that we know
that are almost laughable, or some that don't really affect. Like you have a fun meter, right? And then bugs start coming in, and then you're like, well, and then the fun kind of kicks out. But
because some people have told me like, you better have this same energy for Starfield, and I'm like, look. I know the type of bugs Bethesda has, and they're just like weird bugs that don't really, they don't impact the game so much to where I want to throw the game. Okay. We're not talking great level story writing here in Saints Row. So you're not like sitting there compelled to play this game, on that level. You're not compelled to play it because mechanically it's such a sound game. You're playing it because you just want to have some fun in it. You want to have some crazy, wacky fun. And if there is bugs in the game that deter you from even wanting to play it and make you, I would call them game breaking bugs. If you have to if you have to restart the game, that's game breaking to me. You should not have to turn off your game and restart it. That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if you can't complete a side quest or a mission properly, that's technically what game breaking is.
Yeah, but it breaks. Okay, it breaks my immersion and my fun. Let's say that. I can't stand having to restart this game and play it. It makes me mad. If I had paid for this, I said this on Twitter, I would have got a refund right away.
Mm-hmm.
I would have, because it's not worth your $60, folks. It's just not. This isn't 2007, and this isn't a day and age to where we should be beta testing games for them. We just shouldn't be. It's ridiculous.
But it is such a norm, isn't it, Fonz? You and I have been talking about this for the past 2 years. It's been a problem really, really bad the past 2 years. And I think the industry really does expect people to pre-order and just kind of wait it out after they've already paid. Sucks.
Yeah, no, it does suck because it's fix it now. It's buy now, fix it later mentality. And I don't like that. And a lot of people are defending it and saying, because they're in my thread defending it and they're telling me things like, let's let the market decide on whether or not this is good.
Oh my gosh.
Why? Yeah. What do you mean let the market decide? I've already decided as a consumer and as a gamer, I don't want these bugs in my games when I buy them for full price or any price. It's ridiculous. And then some people are like, back in the day, if you bought a game, they didn't have a chance to fix it. Now they do. This is a great feature to have. And I'm like, wait, now it's a feature? No, incompetence is not a feature. Okay. These developers, and I'm saying these developers are very talented people, but geez, if your game is broke before launch and it, delay it. And if it's the publisher pushing them, shame on them. If it's the investor, shame on them. I mean, because what you're going to do is you're going to have bad reviews come out. You're going to have poor sales and things like that. It just doesn't behoove these developers or publishers to put out a game that is just buggy. And on top of that, it's not very good. It's not like a great game.
Well, if you were hoping, when we talk about that $70 price thing you were talking about last week and the week before, if you're hoping that under contract, you'll get a bonus for reaching a sales milestone. Like if you can surpass 2 million sales or something, then the publishers actually, or the developers actually get extra money. That's where they get paid extra if that's in the agreement. But if the game's buggy, the chances of passing a milestone or meeting it are really, really reduced. There are exceptions, like Cyberpunk was so big it sold regardless. It probably passed a milestone, but it has really been a problem. And here I am. I feel guilty because here I am enjoying Saints Row a lot when I shouldn't, because they did a subpar job with this game. They didn't polish it up at all, and I guess I can't fix the way they went about the game, but I feel bad. I am enjoying it, and I just have these moments where I keep playing the game, and I'm like, I'm really enjoying my time, and I'm glad I'm having fun.
Yeah, there are those moments, but again, you shouldn't have to deal with the.
I guess I pay $60 for a game, and there's always a certain point where I feel like, I say this to myself all the time, I feel like I got my money's worth already, and it could be 8 hours into a game where I've had so much fun. I'm glad I made the purchase. And if I didn't play it anymore, I was okay with that purchase. But I don't know. I don't know how you fix this. The whole thing about saying the market will decide, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Yeah. It's like we're in a community where people want to buy the hardware as soon as they can get it. They want to buy a game as soon as it's released. They've waited for this stuff. They want to enjoy it. And we've got part of the industry that is jacking up prices, lowering quality, and making us wait longer.
I think Elden Ring has spoiled us a bit, right? Earlier this year we got Elden Ring, and it was such a fantastic game, and it didn't come out broken like this, which thank goodness. And by the way, did you hear it sold 17 million copies? It sold more than the Soul series combined so far. And it's still in its first year, so it's going to sell many, many more. Well, you know what? Let's stop talking about a game that sucks, and let's play a game that doesn't suck. How about that, Colt?
And I know what this is.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and play a game that we like to call 5 Questions.
5 Questions.
Okay, Colt. You know the game.
Yeah.
5 Questions. Thank you for not having that seizure that
the crazy
Gaz had.
Yeah, the brain freeze he had, huge
slurpy
slug, and he was
call it that.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it.
All right, Colt. So 5 questions. If you guys are new to 5 questions, it's 4 trivia questions and 1 subjective question at the end. But as host, I have the power to say whether he is wrong or right. I know it's weird, but
wonderful.
Who cares? It's just me. Who cares? Number 1. Here's the first question.
Wait. Do you still have the button for the suspenseful music that gives me anxiety?
You know what? You reminded me. See, sometimes I forget.
I love Colt. This music makes it impossible to answer the question.
All right, Colt. Nicknamed King Koopa, who is the arch nemesis of Mario? Nickname.
Bowser.
Correct! I thought you wouldn't get that because you're not a big Nintendo fan or whatever. I tried to trip him up.
I had to dig back to like 1990 to get that answer in my mind. But go ahead.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, here's another one. Which console came first? Was it the N64, Sega Saturn, or PlayStation?
Oh, shoot. The N64. PlayStation came out in 1995. The N64, I think, came out in 96. The Sega Saturn, I don't know because I wasn't even keyed into the Sega. Give me a second.
Listen to that music. Just listen to it, people.
I know it's making me so unnerved. The Sega Saturn was before the Sega CD, I think. Or Sega Saturn was the one that had all the things that you stacked on it. Don't say anything, host, because
no, that wasn't. It didn't stack things on it. No.
Audience. I'm not trying to get him to help me out here.
And don't look at the audience.
And you're also. Oh, I'm on the page for your actual stream.
Oh, good.
Layout, so I can't see the audience. So this is the era when I was not gaming.
I'm gonna need an answer, sir.
Okay, the Saturn came out first.
Correct, you got it. Sega Saturn, 1994, November. Came out before the PlayStation.
Now, chat, let me go back to the chat real quick.
PlayStation came out in December.
Was I right
94.
on my years? Did the 64 come out in 96?
64, I think, came out in like 98 or 99. It was much later.
Was that new?
Yeah, it was much later. I think so.
No, that's not right. I remember playing it when I was in Omaha, Nebraska in 97.
I think, I don't know. But I just know that Sega Saturn was first.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. It's
nope,
your show.
That's okay. You got it right.
I'll go back to hide the chat. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's one that might trip you up. I'm trying, people. I'm trying. I tried those old questions to get them. What Mortal Kombat character has the power to control lightning? Come on. Power to control lightning. Who?
Raiden.
Correct. You got it. I did not think you would get that at all. You were not a fighting game fan at all. That's crazy. Colt, you've got 3 of the 4 trivia questions. You are on your way.
Oh my gosh.
Here is the final trivia. In the Tomb Raider series, what is Lara Croft's official job title?
Hot booty.
Is that your final answer?
I mean, I think she's an archaeologist, but I don't know. I'm sorry. Dang it. I thought I was going to get a perfect score.
Give me an answer.
Archaeologist is my best
Correct.
answer.
That's it. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Colt, you've got this in the bag because the next one, I can shut the music off. What is the most frustrating game you've ever played?
Oh, frustrating. Well, I mean, recently it would be Elden Ring. I had a lot of really good times in it, but you know, like I went on the bridge, on like the stone bridge where the dragon is, and I was way over leveled where I should have been able to beat it, and I lost like 15 times in a row. Or I went up the hill behind me to the castle where like the Black Knight was on the horse, and got stomped like 18 times. I just had to say, you know what, I can't do it anymore. But I'll just go with my most recent. I was so frustrated that 50% of the time I was loving the game, the other time I hated it. So yeah, I was so frustrated. But that would be it.
I'll accept that answer. Colt, you got all 5 questions right.
What about you? What's your most frustrating game?
I don't know. I can't think of one right now. I can't do this. No, you know what? That's just no. That's not the most frustrating.
Like, no, just think for a second before you move on.
I know. Sekiro.
What game would make you like want to like
Sekiro? Sekiro was my most frustrating game. I almost threw a controller over that, and I've never done that. I almost did that. So Sekiro was definitely my most frustrating. I gave up on it. And by the way, Def Leppard in the chat says, Colt, why are you dressed up so nice? Well, he's on Games Talk Live. What do you think? I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
Gosh. Anyways, let me get to these super chats real quick. We've got one from what's this? Magna Angemon. I don't know how to say that name. Colt, do you know how to say that name? I don't know. He says, "Welcome back."
The Magna Angemon. I think you got it close enough. Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully that was it. I'm sorry if I butchered it. And Patrick, of course, we know Patrick. He's in the community. He says, "Have a great show, Fonz. It's the last day of summer break for my son, so I have to catch the replay later. Don't hold back on PlayStation." You know what's funny? People are calling it the pay station. People are calling it the inflation station. They're calling it all kinds of names. All this, this creativity in these console wars. It's funny to me. Let me get my comments back here. Good. Got all the comments.
Can I throw a curveball in? Our good buddy Zocker87, who we hate.
Yeah, we hate him. Absolutely.
Yeah, we hate him. He didn't like my last tweet because let me ask you a question.
Oh, by the way,
like
Zocker is a toddler.
Okay, now continue.
Knowing what we know about what's been going on the past year or so, do you feel like, Fonz, that Xbox has been guiding the industry where it needs to go?
And what do you?
Like with the way that they're setting prices, the way that they're creating services and they're creating more optional ways to play the games you own, and the way they're creating an atmosphere of like they're keeping the console price low. They have the Xbox All Access, they have Game Pass, they have Family Game Share Plan. Just the way that that they're pushing for cross play on as many games as possible. They're pushing for cross-platform, where you could, if you buy a game, you should be able to play it with other people,
I'm good
or
with that.
play it on other devices.
Yeah, why not?
Because I've said a couple things publicly about how Xbox is leading the industry, but I mean by leading them along, like leading them, like where they should go.
Yeah, you're not talking about leading as in, they're making more money or that sort of thing, but you're saying that
and everyone thinks of the word leading. Of course, I think the first definition would be leading like out front, which is also partially what I mean. Like they're out front, they're out leading and guiding
what it was?
Where we're supposed to
because
go.
I've seen your tweets, and sometimes you'll put market leader, and instead of market, I would omit that for say like industry.
Yeah, so I've changed it to industry leader.
Yeah,
because I really feel like Xbox is leading. We're going to get into that on the show later. But
definitely.
I don't know.
Definitely.
It's so funny. They don't like that word because PlayStation only likes to be leading at the top of the podium.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about Gamescom. Gamescom happened this week, and on opening night, Keeley showed some games, some world premieres, Colt, that I would even want to play. I was shocked. There were several games, and here's the thing: certain games that they showed opening night, a couple days later, they had deeper dives, and they were much better shown in the deeper dives than the little trailers. So I was really, still looking forward to those games that they showed a trailer for. But when I saw the gameplay and the deeper dives, I am all in on some of these games. I think this is probably the best Gamescom show that I've seen in maybe ever. Because most of the traditionally Gamescom don't really show much. What did you think about the show, man?
I think the Keeley show showed like 10 games that I didn't know were even in existence.
Yep.
And some of them were just CGI trailers, but when I was watching that, I was like, wow, there's like 5 or 6 really big, cool games that are coming this year or early next year that we didn't even know were like in the works. Mm-hmm. So we're in this situation where Jeff Keighley's created this platform where everybody wants to show their games off. And I know people like to, he's trying to be the next E3, or he's this and this, my negative comment towards Jeff Keighley, that, right?
Yeah.
But you got to give the guy respect.
He's
created a professional platform where developers and publishers want to make a presence, except for PlayStation. And they've done this great thing where we're starting to see games being shown off in like a one place instead of waiting for them to like, I don't know, like if you don't you have these platforms where games are being shown. So we got to see, and I should make a note of everything, but there were some really cool games.
Well, here's the thing. I'll mention some so it might spark your memory. We saw a gameplay trailer for Callisto Protocol, and it didn't. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really hit, right? This trailer I think didn't work as well as the first one did. It just didn't show too much, and what it did show was pretty lackluster. But they had a deeper dive.
I know we all think that, but the game still, even if this is not their best trailer, it's still great. It is 98% dead space. You got the telekinesis and the atmosphere and everything. So we all kind of get to relive that. And even if this trailer didn't blow our minds, it's still pretty dang good.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing. A couple days later, they had a deeper dive. They showed like 10 minutes of gameplay, and it looked a lot better. And I was like more convinced. I was like, yeah, this is what I want. I definitely want another Dead Space type game. This is from one of the creators of Dead Space, of course. It looks good, man. It looks really good. So I am looking forward to this. We also got to see the game that you reported on years ago, Colt. Remember the game that just went away for a while? Dead Space 2? Or not Dead Space. Dead Island 2.
Dead Island. Yeah, I almost said Dying Light.
We both messed up there. But yeah, Dead Island 2 came back, man.
Okay, let me ask you, and we won't talk about this for very long because I have noticed engagement on Dead Island is really, really low. Not a lot of people give a flying crap, but
Really? Even my son came out. Okay, so my son yesterday, he came out of his room. He goes, Dad, did you hear? Dead Island 2 is coming out. It's actually coming out. And I go, yeah, I saw the trailer. And he goes, what? There's a trailer? He's all, I was just told that it was coming.
Oh.
And I showed it to him. And he can't wait. He loved the first one. So, yeah, man, people are waiting for Dead Island.
I had my ideas. I've dug into all of the details of this game for the past 5 years. I've made like 6 videos about it. This looked better than I thought it would. And I have a pretty good idea what was going on with Dam Busters.
It went through development hell, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, Dam Busters is making this game. This is the team that made Homefront the Revolution. Any of you who know what that game is should be going, ugh. Like, oh, Dam Busters, that team. But this showing was really, I don't know. I'm pretty happy. Yeah. It may not score super high, maybe in the 70s. I'm still going to love the heck out of it. Yeah, as long as it's not broken.
It definitely has its fan base for sure. And those people are very excited for it.
Before we move on to the next game, Fonz, this was the crowning announcement. This was what they chose to end his show. So, which is odd. They open with Callisto, basically kind of open with Callisto, right? Yeah. So what else is on your list?
Oh, okay. So, let me get to these super chats before I move on. Jedi Knight Peter, thank you very much for the $10, man. He says, what was your favorite game at Gamescom? Mine was Lies of P. We're going to get into that. We'll talk about our favorite games that showed, for sure. Next we have Danny Passion Official. Thank you very much, brother. He says, loving this. Junte? What's he saying? Junte.
On.
You can translate Junte if you want to know the meaning. Oh, Liza P, most anticipated game from Gamescom. So he's loving this Junte, whatever Junte is. I'm not sure.
I'll check that out.
But I appreciate you, Danny, very much. You're awesome. You've been a great supporter in the community. Appreciate you on all these shows and stuff. You're awesome, man. I got another one here from Fun Speculation. Mav, what's up, brother? He says, even more awesome new games announced for 2023 at Gamescom. Gonna be a heck of a year. Man, is it cold. 2023 is stacked. It's stacked, brother. What do you think about 2023? Do you think they're going to be delaying games on purpose just because there's too many? There's just too many. I don't know.
I mean, people are saying there's going to be more delays next year, which I think there'll be some.
Yeah,
we're probably going to see a tapering out of what we've gone through the past 2 or 3 years. But
you know how they like games to stagger these games.
Well, the stuff that we're expecting that we've been waiting for, we've had to see delayed. Those games have they're already like ready. They're already way beyond their delay. Their delay expiration date. So I guess it's just going to pour in at this point.
And then also we have, we got to see a game that I personally am looking forward to. Where Winds Meet. Did you see this one? Where Winds Meet?
What is that? The third person bow and arrow
it's
combat?
Kind of
like a Tsushima
kind of Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah.
And that's a multiplayer, right?
Yeah. It looks really good. I'm putting it on the screen. Honestly, it looks a bit more of a hack and slash than say Ghost is, their combat in Ghost. It was a bit more intricate. I think this is more hack and slash, but I don't care. The setting, the combat looks cool. It looks fun. This game just looks awesome to me. Let me see if I can get to some fighting.
Yeah, because the cinematic stuff looks really, really nice. You're like, oh, I hope the game looks good. And then when they showed the game, I'm like, wow, that does still look pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It looks really good.
You have to show me how to do this full screen, like links from YouTube stuff. We'll talk some more. Fonz is really, he's got the best looking show. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, you got, this is the one where I knew what we were talking about when you brought it up, but it's like our Sekiro thing. I have a couple friends that are really excited about this. They're big awesome Souls fans.
It looks awesome to me. And they showed High on Life. But honestly, Colt, High on Life.
That was the worst showing of that game.
Did not look good.
I don't know where their producer was on that, because the boss battle was cool for about 20 or 30 seconds. And it's like when you're a creator or you produce something, there's always a certain amount of time where you're like, okay, it's aging, it's drying out. You got to move to the next thing. And 20 or 30 seconds of that boss battle would have been great. And then they should have cut to something else. But it went on for like 2.5 minutes and it felt like an eternity. And it wasn't an impressive boss battle. I'm sure if you were playing it, it might have been a little more tense, but it didn't watch too well, did it, Fonz?
No, it was boring. Another game that they showed that came out of nowhere for me was Wolong Fallen Dynasty from Team Ninja. I think this game looks great. Another just great kind of hack and slash, medieval, Japanese, style fighting. Like, it just looks cool as all hell. I don't know if it's Japanese.
Sekiro.
I'm sorry, but it just looks fun, man. Gaming is about fun, and we have been waiting for like games for a while. It seems like I know we were spoiled earlier in the year with Elden Ring, and I put a bunch of hours into that. But since then, I've played nothing but like these indie games. I've tried Horizon Forbidden West. It wasn't my thing. So I've been bored, man. Yeah. I've been waiting. So I don't know, man.
Like, I actually truly, and I know people like to complain, but I actually truly ran out of games I wanted to play about at the middle of August for about 2 weeks. I was very frustrated, and I was waiting for Saints Row. And luckily, like I said at the beginning of the show, I've enjoyed my time with it, because even on 2022 has been really bad for Xbox, but there's still been really great games that I've enjoyed that maybe you didn't love. Like, I wouldn't bring them up, but it's been good. But I'm just talking about like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I played it with Dealer and co-op and another friend. I had so much fun. I didn't think I would give a care about it. And then Sniper Elite 5, everyone's like, but Cole,
it was decent.
Game Pass is going to save, right? But Cole, you got to play Sniper Elite 5. And I'm like, no, thank you. I kept telling people in chat, no, I'm not looking forward to that. And then I ended up really, really liking it a lot and playing like all the content and the little extra thing that came, I paid extra for the DLC. So it hasn't been so bad. Just remember, guys, that whoever you're arguing with on Twitter or Reddit, they're not playing exclusives right now. They haven't been playing exclusives for months. I don't care what you're on. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles came out a couple of weeks ago or whatever. I don't really follow that stuff, but you'll get some stuff once in a while. But I mean, when we play a game, we finish it in 2 or 3 weeks. It's a single player game, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well,
it's weird.
First off, thank you, Ben G420, for joining the channel. I appreciate you very much. He had a comment here. He said, so sad to see Saints Row fall like this. Can we just have Saints Row 2 remastered so it's playable on the PC? LMAO. Yeah. Man, it sucks because you did expect it to kind of get better a little bit, maybe, improve upon the last game, but it really didn't. It doesn't do much in the way of mechanics at all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's sad. Here's, I want to read this super chat from Red Wolf. He says, here's to the best 2 dads on YouTube. I'm actually a grandfather too, but that's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
Very excited to hear your thoughts on expectations versus what was delivered at Gamescom. Keep up the great work. Yeah. What was your thoughts on your expectations versus what was delivered?
I think we both kind of felt the same way. We didn't expect much. And then we were pleasantly surprised that a lot of big games were shown. One of the big takeaways, Red Wolf, that I got from Gamescom was that I did not realize how many games we all have to tend with this fall and winter. And then I guess that doesn't stop until we get through the spring because even more stuff's coming out. So even if you're only on Xbox and you suffered through 2022, which is something that I've said publicly many times, I've tweeted about how the 2022 offering for first party has been horrible because their 2 major games got delayed. But there are a whole bunch of multiplats this fall and holiday, right, Fonz, that are going to keep us busy. I mean, if you're playing Modern Warfare, that's a really big game that you'll spend a good week on the campaign or however, a couple days or whatever. But there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch of cool games.
And one thing too is, what I was shocked at, because I really didn't look into it before, but there's quite a bit of games coming into Game Pass too. A lot of these games are going right into Game Pass. Like Lord Metroid with the super chat here. Thank you very much. He says, knowing Moonscars is coming to Game Pass, he's happy. So that's one that's going to Game Pass. But we also have one that I found to be the star of the show, in my opinion. And that, of course, was this game called Lies of P. This dark take on Pinocchio of all things. I mean, who would have thunk Pinocchio in a Bloodborne universe would work? It reminds me of like that.
So he's the human form of Pinocchio, right? I mean, he is human. They haven't shown much of his face, but it's when he becomes a real boy, and now like Geppetto's creations or something, or have become demonized or something.
Oh man! So and then he's got that arm there that he can attach things to. You can change it up. You can shoot things. You got a cannon. You got all kinds of different things, and it just looks amazing to me. Thank you very much, Yodani Casada, for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Who is the studio? Nuff Studios?
Yodani says autumn will be a fight, being outside or playing games. You know what I say, Fonz? Go outside, and when the sun goes down,
touch grass. No,
untouched grass when the sun goes down.
Dude,
what was it? Was the studio you said?
Nuff, I believe. Nuff Studios. That's what it looks like.
What have they made? Because this
I don't know. But here's the thing. Here's why this is so impressive. We've seen other Souls-like games that have been tried, and they don't work. You could even tell looking at it. It doesn't look smooth or whatever, like the Surge. But I don't know. So, there's some fans of the Surge out there, I know. But when you talk to people that are into Souls, they'll tell you what works and what didn't work in that game. But this game, they're all excited for it. And there's a reason. It looks freaking fantastic. It looks like a Souls game. The UI, the mechanics, even the sounds. If I had the sounds playing, it sounds like a Souls game. Like this looks like Bloodborne, and that's why a lot of people are like embracing it, because they want a Bloodborne sequel. They're not getting a Bloodborne sequel, so Lies of P is that sequel that they're not getting, and that's why PlayStation fans. No, I just want to say real quick, Colt. PlayStation fans have voted that this is their most anticipated game. And it's going to Game
it won
Pass.
the Gamescom award on the PlayStation, and it's coming day and date to Game Pass.
Yeah.
As well as Plague Tale Requiem. But have you noticed the production values are like far above any Souls game? Like Elden Ring did not have these beautiful close-ups and cinematics like this.
Not like this.
Oh my gosh. My only problem with Lies of P is I haven't applied myself to become good at these games. Like I didn't finish all of Elden Ring. I played like, I don't know, well over half of it. And I want to enjoy this, but if it brutally destroys me, I'll end up shelving it. But
I personally, I beat Bloodborne myself. I really love that game. That was the first Souls-like game I played. I never played a Souls game. I played Bloodborne, loved it. Never went to Souls at all for some reason. But then Elden Ring came out, and because it was an open world game, I said, let me try it. And it was more approachable, I heard, and it was a really good, fun game to play through. But Lies of P was my favorite. And a couple days later, Colt, we saw the new trailer for Atomic Heart. And this kind of blew everything out of the water, I would say. Because this, when we first saw Atomic Heart, that little trailer it showed,
and it's coming this year to Game Pass,
and it's coming next month.
Lies of P. Lies of P is next year. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Lies of P is 23. Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this new trailer. I'm like, I remember the old Atomic Heart trailer, and it intrigued me, but I was not this excited until I saw.
Are you able to play that one on your show?
Oh. Right here, baby. I got it.
Yeah.
It's now, weird because
hold on.
Go ahead.
I was talking to Dealer about this. Like, hey, did you see the Atomic Heart trailer? He's like, no. I go, dude, take 3 minutes of your time.
Okay.
Because everyone always says, doesn't look next gen, or that looks next gen. And I hate that phrase. I hate it. It's so dumb because people don't understand it. But when I watched this, I was looking closely. When you get into the combat sequence, we have not seen a game with this many tendrils and animations and water effects and shock effects and smoke all going at once, and the level of detail and everything. I'm like, this little studio made this game so impressive looking, and it has like that BioShock meets what is it, Fonz? What is it?
It looks like
Preach
a BioShock type game. My son, I after I showed him the Dead Island 2 trailer because he hadn't seen it, I showed him this, and his jaw was on the floor. He was like, that reminds me of BioShock, but also it's so new and fresh. He's like, I've got to play that. And I'm like,
it also did like the Dying Light thing or Dead Island thing with the melee combat. Like you're just ripping these like half androids apart and blood's flying everywhere. I don't know, man.
It just kind of incredible to me.
Hey, Colt, what kind of game can I give you that you love? I'm like, well, I really like BioShock and Dying Light. Can you? Okay, I'll take Atomic Heart.
Yeah, this game, it just checks so many boxes for first-person shooter fans, and I would even say even Souls-like fans in a way, because, you know, it seems like they grab certain things like the whole big mega boss fights and stuff. It just, you know, implementing that into first-person shooters, it's awesome. I like to see that.
I hope it's big, like we hope it is. Like I hope that it kind of has a traditional campaign.
Oh, me too.
I mean, I'm sure it will. We don't know like what it does story-wise, but we're seeing all these different locations. So you're assuming you're going to move from area to area and have a story along the way. And if it does that,
that looks so cool, man.
So
like, God, the guns, the weapons, the way they shoot, man. This game looks a lot of fun.
Oh,
Dealer's in the chat. Shout out to him. What's up,
Sebastian
Dealer?
Cooper says it's open world.
Oh,
dang.
That's even better.
That really surprises me. Yeah.
Red Wolf said, what did P lie about? Did Geppetto ground him for it? Oh, that's funny. Red Wolf.
Good old Geppetto.
Geppetto.
Yeah, this game is...
That looks
this game was supposed to be out like in the spring of this year, or very first part of the year.
Yeah, and then
they were experiencing difficulties because of that part of the world.
And then if you look it up, if you Google it, there's a tentative date for September, but there's no actual date, you know. So who knows? It could get delayed. It could
get delayed.
But yeah, I really want this game now. After I saw this trailer, I'm like, yeah, I gotta have it. I gotta have it now. And right into Game Pass. Isn't that crazy? Right into Game Pass, Colt.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smaller studio, and they got a nice payoff to go into Game Pass. But of course, we would have. You and I probably would have bought this game if it wasn't there anyway. So yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah. Well, Colt, overall, Gamescom, what would you have scored it if you put a big number on it?
I don't score shows.
I know you don't, but
let me just say, I was
and giggles here.
Like I said, I was not expecting anything cool, and I knew Xbox wouldn't have a presence, and they had quite a big presence. They had a big PC presence. I think they did that on purpose. They probably just said, "Hey, we're going to do this all about PC and reinforce that we're on PC Game Pass." Come on, Xbox. Come on. Yeah. You got millions of console owners. I would rate this one. I really like the show. That's what I'd rate it.
Yeah. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was really good for Gamescom. Now, let's keep this in mind. This is me watching it after the fact because I work graveyards. I got up late. I watched it later.
You actually watched the show?
I watched through. Okay, what about that announcement from Kojima? That huge announcement everybody was waiting for. I have a podcast.
I have a podcast, and Fonz is my first guest.
Oh my gosh.
That was a good one.
I have a podcast. Yeah, no. But yeah, I thought it was a great show. For Gamescom, it was really good, and I'm excited for the games that I showcased here. Chat, let me know what you guys liked on the show. You can put it in the chat. But yeah, man, those were the games I thought were standouts. Atomic Heart was something that you told me when that trailer dropped. You were like, hey, did you see this? And I was like, no. Mm-hmm. You're like, go watch it now. And I'm like, okay, will do. So, yep. See, Fun Speculation in the chat says the same thing. He gave an 8. He really liked the show.
What about Dune, the open world survival MMO?
So a lot of people were excited until it splashed up there and says survival MMO, and they were like, "Oh gosh."
Oh, let me
in the heart.
Hey, chat. You want to hear Fonz get mad?
Go ahead. Get me.
Okay.
Get me.
What about the Gotham Knight showing about the villains, the villain showcase for Gotham Knights?
Why did you do
What do you
that,
take?
Colt? Why did you have to bring it up? Why?
Now, Colt, Gotham Knights.
Oh, you get so
Nobody
triggered,
will
bro.
ever mow you again. Gosh, that dialogue is just horrible. But you got
I
to
hope
suspend
someday
disbelief,
you get hired.
Right?
I hope someday your first voice act job is you delivering that line to fix it for that guy. We need you to do it better.
Yeah, we need you to do.
Let me ask you real quick before you move on. What do you think of Gotham Knights visuals since you've been able to see a little bit lately?
I think they're a bit janky. I don't think they're all that smooth, but they're okay.
Yeah, I mean,
they're
yeah,
okay.
I agree. But I mean, as far as the graphics and the visual presentation, I know the animations are a little
playing
stiff.
Saints Row for a couple of days. They're a lot better than that. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But it's not saying much. Anyways, Colt, Gamescom discussion is over with. We're going to move on. But before we get into the next topic, it's another week and there's another ad. Got to pay the bills. So I hope you enjoy. Welcome back to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? We have Mr. Pony here, and he's about to win that $1 million if he can answer this one last question. What is $10 million multiplied by 59? Is it $590 million? Is it Xbox has no games? Is it $70? Or is it $590?
1 plus all DNA. 2 D. Yeah, it's D. I'm going with D. It's D. Panthers D. Of the D.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. The answer is $590 million. You stupid mother.
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines, fly to anywhere you choose and pay as little as $59 one way.
All right, there you have it. That's this week's ad. Got to pay the bills. Thank you, Southwest. I appreciate you so much for contacting me and wanting me to be a sponsor for the airlines. So yeah, hit me up if you want to take a flight somewhere. Colt. So let's get into something you touched on with games going to PC. We just had Death Stranding hitting Game Pass on PC. What's up with that?
Well, it's not PlayStation's say. But
it's Sony's IP. What's it doing on a console or on a platform where Game Pass is?
That's so weird. PlayStation owns the IP. 505 Games published it. Kojima made it. Kojima's not a PlayStation studio or PlayStation developer. And I think 505 said, hey, we want to sell more copies. And you won't do it, so we will, I guess. Yeah.
I just think that it's just odd. It's really odd to see a PlayStation-owned IP. I guess it's not all that odd because we just had, MLB The Show 2 years in a row. Hit even, Xbox. That was weird enough, but here you have another one. And I think this one is just, it really hits a lot of PlayStation guys harder because it's not only a Sony-owned IP, but it's also Kojima. And they covet Kojima. Like his games, this is PlayStation. This is our identity. Kojima's part of that. And
we made on
Game Pass. I just thought it was pretty weird. I just, we didn't need to have a big discussion on this. Just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was just odd.
It is interesting. You can get Xbox Live achievements on the game on PC. And I'll probably install it. It might be something I install after I finish with Saints Row, depending on when the next game lands. What's the next big game that comes out, Fonz? Do you have any idea?
The next big game. Well,
it might be Gotham Knights. It might be another month.
That's personal, right? Because we can, some of us might like indie games. You know what I'm saying? Like it's subjective, not personal. But you can't ask me. That's personal.
It's personal.
That's what I
You
said.
can't ask a guy what game.
Well, while we're
he's
talking,
looking
chat,
for.
you can tell us what the next like big mainstream game that's
I think
coming
it's
out
Gotham
or when.
Knights. I believe
It might be Gotham Knights.
It's Gotham Knights.
Like, I don't know when that is.
And I think that's October. That's October,
Jeez.
I believe.
I'll be playing Death Stranding.
I'm
try it.
hoping that we get Atomic Heart next month out of the blue. I know it's not some big AAA game, but hey,
I've seen
game I'm looking
December
forward
and
to.
September, so I hope it doesn't get delayed again.
Yeah, but Gotham Knights, I think, is the next big AAA game. But let's talk. Let's get into the reason why I think everybody's here today, Colt. They want to talk about that PS5 price hike. Okay, the PlayStation,
Unbelievable.
The Inflation Station 5 is now more expensive than ever. That's right. PlayStation 5 will cost you anywhere between $30 and $60, depending on what country you're in, Colt, except for the United States. The United States remains the same, folks. This is an unprecedented move because this was supposedly, this is what Sony said. It was a difficult decision because of challenging and economic conditions and rising inflation rates. Those were the reasons cited by Sony. So these are the reasons why they upped the price everywhere else except for the U.S. But yet the U.S. is going through it just the same. And I don't see why they're not doing it here other than the fact that, Colt, are they worried? Are they worried here about maybe Xbox?
Absolutely. 100% they're worried about Xbox's console sales in the United States because that's where their strongest competition is. And it's so important for PlayStation to not lose in any part of the market. And there's inflation going all over the world, and obviously in the US, and Nintendo and Xbox are not raising the prices. So it's really bad optic that PlayStation plans to put out now and then have forgiven and forgotten in the next couple weeks when they will like announce their summer game showcase, which still hasn't happened. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I mean, they've had their state of play, but they haven't had like their major yearly game showcase.
Well,
and it's
think
supposed
what
to be
they're
next
gonna do-
month, I guess. And then everyone will forgive and forget.
yeah, exactly. That is what's going to happen, I believe. I think because they've done a number of things lately that doesn't make sense to me, and that is pissing off some of their fan base and gamers everywhere. And I think what they're going to try to do is make this showcase, put something in it to, wow their fan base in terms of a game or something that hasn't been announced yet, or maybe a deeper look into, say, Wolverine or something, and it looked really cool or something. And people will say, this is why I love PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation rocks. I'll gladly pay for greatness.
Premium.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to get a lot of that. I see it coming. It's going to happen. That's the next thing. Fanboys are going to say, this is why we pay premium for PlayStation 5. And it's like, shut up. Just shut up. Because, being proud to pay more than somebody else is just dumb. It's a dumb thing. I just think.
Well, what about
Go ahead.
exactly a year ago, August 16th of 2021, PlayStation was telling the media that they were making a profit.
Yes.
They were no longer selling the PS5 at a loss. And here they are where everyone is experiencing more expensive components, AMD components and everything that they get and putting into the manufacture of the PS5 or the Xbox or even the Switch. Even the Switch is experiencing a hike in pricing for their products. But Xbox and Nintendo are not passing that burden on to their consumers because they set a retail price at launch, and they're going to stick to it like almost every other company does when they release a product.
Yep.
And
this
so
this is
why
something I touched on with the Iron Lords earlier. I was on their show. How everything has a baseline price, right? There's always that price that when it's, a specific product in a specific genre is dropped, usually it's all around the same pricing with all these different platforms or whatever. And usually it's really unprecedented that 2 years in you would get a price hike. Usually you would get a price reduction in that amount of time. So it's crazy to me to see how this is playing out and how some people out there are actually defending this move. And it's odd to me. I don't understand the defense because, again, there's been so much that Sony has been doing lately that has not been very consumer friendly when it comes to their games division, especially. We've heard more of them talking about film and TV adaptations for IP that they no longer make games for. They don't care to make a game for, but let's make an IP, let's make a film or a TV show based on that IP. That is weird to me. Okay, on one hand, I understand. They're trying to go after a different market. They're trying to get money from, revenue from a different area that they are involved with. So you got Sony Studios and stuff that makes film and TV shows and that stuff. I get it. Yeah. You can make your money, but you have to feed your gamers. You have to give your gamers, you have to listen to them. I think they're very tone deaf right now. I think the fact that they crapped all over Days Gone in a way, they refused to make a sequel about it, yet they announced a movie. I'm sorry, that's tone deaf right there. That you're not really paying attention to the room at all. And now they're upping the price here. It just goes along with everything else they've been doing this generation, which has not been very consumer friendly, in my opinion. The whole $70 thing for the games, that alone. And, I said it on Iron Lords. I'll say it to you, Colt. I may have said it to you in a party chat. I've told other people. My stance stays the same on the $70 games. I think it's ridiculous.
Let me ask you something. I had another, Zocker and I talk a lot, and he disagreed with me on this because I said that PlayStation's been kind of falling over themselves this generation. And he's like, I wouldn't say that. They've put out really great games. They've had their first party offering has been on the money. I'm like, yeah, but I don't care who you are, your first party offering, well, maybe not Nintendo. Your first party offering is a small fraction of what you give your customer. Like if you sell 100 million PlayStations in a generation, 10 to 20% of that is your exclusives. Most of that experience is about what the console does, what it provides, what its capabilities are, how it plays multiplats, what games are available, what third-party deals you're striking, and all of these things. Like it's a whole thing that if you ask everyone that plays on a PlayStation, which you can never pull them all, they wouldn't say, it's just games experiences like the exclusives. You might not even get that from an Xbox person, obviously, but they have had such a difficult time. They brought prices, they set prices up with the biggest greedy publishers that everyone else can't stand, like EA and Activision.
And Take-Two.
They've set that, and Take-Two, they've set that price up there like they have. They have charged for upgrades. They've remastered their games and sold them back to them. They haven't tried to do any more things with back and pat. They've been kicking and screaming into the cross-play and cross-platform thing. They're trying to bring games to PC. They can't do it right now because they don't have this infrastructure in place to start putting their games on PC because they hired Nixus. You can't expect one studio and all your other studios to fall in line and automatically start making a PC version and a PlayStation version because there's a little bit of extra work there. So they're going to get there. It just takes a little bit longer than Xbox. And so their fans are not happy. There's been all these articles that have come out lately. Have you seen these articles sprout up about fans in Japan are upset and they want to leave behind the PlayStation?
They're mad.
Fans are saying this. People across the world are saying they're not going to bother getting a PlayStation 5 because the price has now gone above the threshold of what they're willing to pay. And PlayStation's like, we need to make our money, but they've sold all their consoles. I don't care if they went to scalpers. They still got the money. When they scooped all those up, they still got paid for the consoles.
I think that they are trying to make money in the traditional ways. And unfortunately, they are, I told you this before, they're begrudgingly moving forward and following suit to what Microsoft is doing in the industry. They're going to serve, having their own service there too, but they don't really want to do that. You can tell there's something there where they really don't want, especially not putting their games day and date in there. They don't want to do this. but they're doing
They
it
don't,
because they know
I mean,
the industry is
yes,
going that
premium,
route.
you mean?
Yeah, into the streaming services, like having their own Game Pass, if you will, with the PlayStation Premium.
So talk on that, Fonz.
Okay,
Why
so
do
what
you
I
think
think-
they don't want to do that?
I think because honestly, I think they want to do things traditional. It may be just the mindset there at Sony. They want to sell their exclusive games. They want to make as much profit there and make profit on their consoles. So when they took a hit, they upped the price of their PlayStation 5 because they took a hit because the whole world is taking a hit. So yeah, the parts are more expensive. Even if
Their numbers weren't too impressive as well.
And their numbers weren't
fiscal
impressive on the
22.
software sales either. So
Yeah.
I understand what they're trying to do. But when you look at it, movies, honestly, movies in general usually cost more to make than a video game.
Mhm.
But the fact of the matter is, these movies are quicker turnarounds. They're quicker returns because to make a movie, it's probably like a year to 2 years tops.
Mhm.
Tops. Even in this day and age with, everything that's been going on, it's been about 2 years and these movies are made. They double their price there. They double their returns within 2 years, where a game is going to take you 5+ years sometimes to make. And then they're hoping to get double their investment or triple their investment. But again, time is money as well. So
Mhm.
of course they want to make these movies and these films because it's quick cash. That's what it is to them. It's quick cash.
Yeah.
But I don't think they really want to go into the service market. I don't really think they want to do all this. They just know it's inevitable. This is where the market is turning. I mean, when we heard news about Amazon possibly buying EA, that was a head turner. Everybody was like, oh, whoa, is that happening?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
They came
Yeah.
out and they said that it wasn't happening. But when there's smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire. There was some talks. There was something going on there for sure. And I feel like, Amazon, we all know Luna, their streaming-based platform and everything. This is where the industry is headed eventually. And it's scary at the same time, but I feel that Sony is kind of losing their way right now, in that they're kind of losing their identity with all this stuff they're doing, but not in how you think. It's not that they're just following suit to try to change for the industry and go into streaming and all this stuff. They're losing their way in that they just seem to be like tone deaf. They're not listening, going into, film and TV rather than make.
They're not listening to what? Like what the hardcore fans want?
Yeah. I mean, they've been asking for Bloodborne 2 forever. They're not doing it. They're going to make a TV show or something about it. And it's like, what? And, Days Gone, another one. People really wanted to see a sophomore outing on that game. I thought the game was great. It had its issues, but I said to you, you know what? Their second game is going to be great.
It was Ben's first attempt at a big AAA game, and I think they did a really good job.
They're not listening, but they're going to make a movie on it. It's things like that where I feel they're losing their way. And now they're upping the price of the PlayStation 5 2 years into the generation, which is unprecedented. It's weird. I don't know what else to say. It's just, this is the new Sony. This is not the same Sony we dealt with last generation. It's not.
I just wonder why they have this problem with trying to get the console's not enough. So they know that if they're not reaching the amount of sales, and the simple solution, I thought the simple solution is just get your games ready for PC sooner. Like if they can't get them ready day and date, just make a commitment saying, Santa Monica, when you make your game, be prepared to release the PC version in 1 year. We'll give you 1 year to work on the PC version, get it all ready. And then that's what we'll do until we're ready to start releasing them at the release on PC and PlayStation. But I also feel like, I think I may have said this on your show, Fonz, if Sony put out a statement or put out a press release or a big announcement at one of their shows and said, all of our new games are going to be in PlayStation Premium. What's the top tier, the third tier? I think it's Premium. Extra is the middle one. If they just imagine this And I know most people here watching are mostly Xbox fans. So just put on your PlayStation hat for a second and pretend you're a big PlayStation fan, okay? Man, just imagine PlayStation says, all of our new big tentpole exclusives are going to release on PlayStation Premium day and date. Now, when you have 50 million people who pay for PlayStation Plus so that they can get a few free games and have play online, imagine how many of those 50 would upgrade from Plus all the way up to Premium, knowing that when Spider-Man 2 comes out, it's included with what they've been paying, plus all the other games that are bundled in there. They know when Wolverine comes out, it's already paid for and taken care of for them.
For sure.
You know, when Naughty Dog's sci-fi adventure comes out, it'll be there. So I really feel I got so many people mad at me, Fonz, when I put out that tweet. I'm like, PlayStation, you don't have faith in your fans. If you put all your games day and date in the service, they will come in force and they will subscribe, because this is that value that's shaken up the world. Everyone talks about how amazing Game Pass is. All of the media outlets that usually are the darlings of PlayStation have just been singing the praises of Game Pass because it's disrupted the industry in the most positive way. And I don't understand, Fonz. Let me just ask you, why isn't PlayStation feeling confident to make that leap?
Yeah, I think it has to do with capital. I think it has to do with the money. I don't think that they
don't have to pay their first party studios. It's not that they can't afford it.
It's not that they can't afford it. I made that mistake of saying that on Iron Lords today. I think they can afford to do so. I think they can afford to do so. But I feel like they don't want to do it because it won't maximize profits the way they want it to now.
They're not maximizing profits now. What did the Iron Lords say when you said, I don't think they can afford it? What was their correction?
Oh,
because I've had people who are way smarter than I am that say they can't afford it, Colt. They can't afford to get the amount of content that Xbox is doing.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they could afford all of that. The type of content that they're trying to bring in at Xbox, plus their day and date first party. But I do see Sony being able to do it. It's just that I don't think they want to, because from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense for them right now. They don't see it. They don't feel that they're in a comfortable position for that. I feel that's what they're going through with this, the struggle. They want to see profits. They want to see big profits. I mean, this is why they just said that they were making money months ago, and now look, on their console, now they're upping the price. Because what? Are they breaking even? Are they losing a little tiny bit? I mean, what is it really?
Well,
when the other companies aren't upping their prices. I mean, they're going through the same inflation.
I mean, if let's ignore Xbox and Nintendo, they're not upping their price. I mean, across the world, there's currency conversions and there's the cost of import, export, and all that stuff has all gone up. And PlayStation feels like they have to bring the price up because they can't sustain what they're doing. Maybe Nintendo and Microsoft are making so much money that they can stand to lose that. Like, maybe the discussion is simply this.
So are you saying
Microsoft says?
So you're saying Sony is hurting right now? They're not making as much as they were last.
They don't have the cushion to take that hurt like everyone else is. So Microsoft can say, like in the meeting, they can say, look, we're losing this much because costs are going up to get consoles, get the components acquired, manufacture, import, export, ship, and all that stuff. Like, we're losing, a few more dollars every console than we were. Instead of losing 3, we're losing 5. And Microsoft says, look, it's not worth the bad will. We'll eat the price until things level out, and then we'll be fine. But PlayStation's sitting in a situation where Sony's like, we can't afford to keep hitting this and keep funding the PlayStation division the way we're doing. Something's got to give. And they had to go all the way out on the limb and say, we're going to have to do a price hike. We're going to have to tell the public, and we're going to have to take it on the butt cheek, because people get mad when they hear this. They want to start kicking people's butts, right? And there was big outrage last week when this came up. So Sony knew they would have to take the bad PR and just say, look, it's just like any other bad news. You get the bad news out there and you just have to eat it for a couple weeks until something overtakes the news circuit or we have our next big announcement. And they're banking on announcing their game showcase and people just saying, oh, and God of War Ragnarok's coming in a couple months, like that will alleviate the pain. Just like any other bad news that comes along, even for Xbox, something always comes along eventually, and you kind of have to just forgive and forget. And it's part of business.
You kind of answered it earlier when you were talking about how if they were to put their games day and date, how they would get many more subscribers right away. They'd get me for sure. They'd get so. You, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, let me ask you real quick before you ask that question. Don't, bookmark that. It's just a quick question. They have 50 million PS Plus users. How many million do you think would just do the upgrade? 5?
I think
10?
I think a lot of them would. It's funny.
They could have some impressive numbers right off the bat. Wouldn't you think?
Right off the bat.
But I think Sony doesn't think so. They probably know way better than I.
The problem is, even if everybody were to go to their subscription service, it's still not enough for them, I feel. That's the way they're looking at it.
Maybe.
It's still not enough for them. They want more. This is what I feel that Sony's about.
Want or need more.
Sorry.
You have a really good point that I haven't thought of.
I think they want more. I don't think it's necessarily a need. They want.
Is it one of those things where we're the top gaming industry, we can demand
a premium price? Yes. I feel that's Sony's mentality. This is like the Apple of the gaming world. I'm sorry. They demand a premium. Yeah. That's the way I feel. Splendiferous is right. He says the reason is because their games are
top quality.
All right. That's what Splendiferous says.
How do you do that so fast? You're amazing.
But yeah, man, let me get through some super chats.
Honestly, who do you want leading the industry? Do you want the people who are going to say, look, we're worth it, we're worth the high price, and they deliver you an amazing 2 to 3 games every year? Or are you thinking about the broad spectrum where you're not going to get a price hike on your hardware? You're getting an option to play all of their games in a Game Pass service, which tons of people are doing. Not everybody's doing it.
It's not even about leading to me. It's about,
well, who do you want to guide the way the future of gaming is going, where you could play?
I don't think everybody needs to be in this, this box. I think these companies can be different. Like PlayStation can be different. I personally feel like they should go through with a service-based system as well, like Game Pass, because that's just my thought on it, because I'm cheap. Okay. I like that model. So that's what I want to see. But they can continue to make their big, single player games and those heavy story narrative games. I love those games. So they can continue to do that at Sony. But I'm feeling now like a lot is changing there. I don't know what's going to happen with them in the future. Like, it's anybody's guess at this point, because they are doing things that don't make any sense. Like, I understand going to the services model, but the TV film talk, but no talk about sequels to the same IP. Like, it's weird. It's really weird. It's like you're shitting all over your fan base, basically, because they're asking for these games and you're like, nope, but we'll give you a TV show based on that game. It's weird.
Yeah.
Next Gen Barbaric says, not only the price hike, but why did they do that right before the release of the next PSVR? I think that will hurt them in the long term. Well, you know what? I wanted to touch on that. I don't think this is going to hurt them much in the way of sales anyway, Colt. I really don't. I think these people in the other countries that are affected by this, they'll continue to buy these consoles, these PlayStation 5s. And the reason being is because
you don't think there'll be
I think there's a little blowback, just a small blowback. But I think
no one's going to say I'm done with PlayStation because of this. No, and there are articles that act like that, like I brought up. Of course, it's all hyperbole.
Of course. Because what's going to happen, again, we touched on it earlier, they're going to have a showcase. It's going to show some badass looking game, and that's it. Everybody's going to forgive them.
Yeah.
Look, if the $70 game thing hasn't taught me anything, it's this. The consumers will buy it. The masses will buy this.
Illis Cat in Nebraska, which is a great name. I lived in Nebraska for a little bit, so I'd love to know what part of Nebraska you're from, because it's an amazing, awesome place. It's very underrated, but he says, is the only, or he or she says, is it the only good news for Xbox news, bad PlayStation news?
No.
I don't know how long you've been on this show today, but there has been some pretty cool stuff. We talked about a bunch of games that are coming, games that Xbox has partnered with that are coming out this year and early next year. And then these Game Pass games that are like really amazing are just going to drop right into the service that are already on the platform. Now you have an optional way to play them. There's been some really good stuff. And that's kind of like what my tweet was about, that the first party offerings was so horrible with them delaying those big games on Xbox.
Yeah.
And so it all lands on their Xbox Global Publishing deals. And then even those have seen delays. It's been pretty bad, really bad. And I've wanted Xbox to get their stuff together for quite a while with the way that things have been going. But there are some really good prospects. And the setup right now, the other good news, Illis Cat in Nebraska, is that they've basically announced that they are letting you play up to 4 other accounts on Game Pass for $25 a month. And it's $10 a month for, you're getting an incredible deal. You can share that with friends as long as they're in the same country. So you can share it with like your kid and then 3 of your buddies that you play games with on Xbox. There's been a lot of really good news, regardless of such a really low spot for Xbox first party outing. So,
this is from Texas. He says, yo, Fonz and Colt, is Sony using their IPs as collateral for Azure server space to help with their economic hardship? Sorry, butchered that. It's the hashtag inflation station. That's I still find that hilarious.
There's a rumor that Sony might be going with Amazon's server setup system or Google's. Yeah, like they signed this intent of agreement in 2018 to work with Azure, and it was like a big thing that everyone argued about. Like, why are they partnering with Microsoft? It sounds like they've been exploring other avenues to get into the cloud space, because, like Jim Ryan said, they want to be more multi-platform, and to do that, they have to find somebody that has been doing all the work that they haven't been doing. Like Microsoft, Xbox has a Microsoft team who's done all the cloud enterprise stuff for them, and they can just like tie right into it. So I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on all of that stuff, but yeah, you're right. They just signed that intent form. Anyways, Biff Rinaldi, our good friend Biff, he says, I'm still playing Elden Ring, my first Souls game. Want to check out some others. Liza P looks interesting. I'll check it out for shiggles. For shiggles. Never heard that one before, but thank you very much, Biff.
For shiggles.
Yeah, and I want to thank Elk Dude for joining the channel. Thank you very much, dude. Good to see you here, buddy. Of course, what was his old name? Elk Dude. I already forgot. See, he probably likes that. Geek. God's Geeks. Yeah, he probably likes it. I forgot that already. He's like, yeah, this is my new name. I'm sticking with it. So, Colt, overall, I just feel like I wanted to finish up on the $70 thing. The $70 games, people just accepted that pretty much. Like the majority have accepted it. I initially stopped or not bought any $70 games. I said that I wasn't going to initially because I wanted everybody to pretty much, not everybody, but the majority of the gamers out there to say, no, we're going to put up a stink about this and let's not do this. But of course, after a few months went by and I see people were buying the games and people were calling me dumb or crazy or whatnot for not buying the games. I'm not naive to the fact that one man isn't going to stop this from happening, or even hundreds of people. So the fact remains this, like, I still maintain that this is ridiculous. The price increase for these extra gimmicks and control features and things like that is just ridiculous. And resolution, stuff that PC has had forever anyway. It's dumb. But as I said on Iron Lords today, if there is a game that comes out and I really want to play it and it's $70, I suffer from FOMO, and I suffer and these games get ruined sometimes. Stories get put out there. The games, the whole narrative on a game gets put out there as soon as the game drops, and it ruins it for me. So if a game does come out that I really need to have, I'm probably going to buy it for $70. And that's not because I want to.
I've already done it several times.
It's not because I want to. It's because I have no choice. If I want to enjoy this game, I can't wait for it because it's going to get ruined. Things like God of War, I can't play a year later because I'm going to know the story and everything that happens in it, 2 weeks in. It's just that way. And it sucks. I'm pissed off about it, but it's going to happen. I'm going to be very, very picky on what I pay for, especially at that price. I'm picky now with $60, but I'm just saying. I still don't feel like
I'm allowed to make my complaint about $70 games. I've already bought like 8 or 10 of them this generation. But what bothers me about the $70 price point is, like I said earlier, the most greedy or the biggest publishers said, this is our price now. This is what we have. And zero amount of speak with your wallet is going to reverse them. They will never, ever go back and say, never mind, our games are now $59.99 in the US. So
I think if everybody really stood up to it and really caused a stir, like the whole Xbox Live Gold thing, everybody did with that, and refused to actually pay for these games, I think that they would take a look at that.
The difference between that was you're in the middle. Well, I mean, I guess both these happened during a pandemic, right? But it just didn't make any sense to double the price of Xbox Live and getting nothing out of it. Like they didn't say we're doubling the price of Xbox Live, but we're also adding in this to help soften the blow. I know it's different, but that never happened.
But people came together. Gamers came together. Consumers came together. Here on the $70 games, at this point, I'm hurting myself. I'm hurting myself because I can't enjoy something, if it were to come out and then it gets ruined. I wouldn't want to play it. It would piss me off. And I know that happens every time. Elk Dude, thank you very much, brother. He says, hey, Fonz and Colt, glad I can catch the show. So thank you very much, man. Yeah, I think I've seen you here one other time before, a couple times, I'm sure. Asa from Game On Daily's in the chat. What's up, brother? But yeah, man, it is what it is. This whole price increase, get off the $70 game thing. You won't hear me really talk much about it anymore because it is what it is. It's inevitable. Even Xbox is going to go to that $70 price point at some.
You think they will this generation?
Yeah, this generation, but I don't think not for some time. I think it may even be a year, 2 years, even. Like I could see it being a while. I just don't see them doing it right away, especially right now with everything that's going on with the negative press with PlayStation. They're raising prices on their consoles now, and also the fact that they've had a really tough year with Game Pass. I don't see them really raising prices for anything right now because a Game Pass hike will be coming in the next couple of years for sure. So maybe and Colt has stepped away.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Hey, hold on a second. I lost signal on my TV. Just give me a second. Keep talking. I'm listening.
No problem. I've got a super chat here from KSMT. Welcome. I got to have you on the show, brother. I've been watching you on other podcasts. Very smart person there. Good gamer as well. So I got to have you on here. He says, I stand with you, brother. It's unfortunate that more didn't stand with us. If they were, we might have been able to get some real attention to the issue. Yeah. I mean, and when I say we, it's we as gamers collectively and also journalists, the media. Like nobody really cared. They're just like, they defended it really. A lot of people defended it. So there wasn't really much to do there. I spoke my piece on it. I've put out, videos. I've shared other people's videos on the situation. It sucks, but we're going to have to eat that price. Just like people are going to eat the price of the PlayStation 5, this new price. They're going to do it.
Yep.
And you know what? One thing I didn't bring up with you, Colt, it's funny. Here in the US, they're not, charging more for the console. However, for the past at least 2 months now, you cannot find a PlayStation 5 by itself anyway. You're paying $550 for the console anyway because it's being bundled with Horizon Forbidden West. You can't find a console by itself.
You know what? I never even thought about that. They're
bundling it, so you're paying that price anyway.
Didn't they used to bundle? Didn't they always bundle a console and the game was just included? Like you basically got it for free?
A long time ago. And you know why they did that? Because it was developed and published by that platform holder. So PlayStation 5 makes Horizon Forbidden West. They're just throwing in that game and you're paying $550.
Well, couldn't you buy like the Call of Duty Ghost bundle, Xbox One and stuff back last generation?
Well, but they paid for, yeah. Well, if they gave it to you for free, then
I think the
company was
Chat
paying for it at
that.
least. The company was paying for it at least, you know, but here they actually own the product that they're throwing in with it. You're paying $550 anyways. So it's not like you've got choice to pay anything less anyways. There is no PlayStation 5 console to buy. There's bundles. That's it. It's all bundles.
And the scalpers aren't buying up the bundles, huh?
No.
I don't know.
Hargeet Shani with the super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, on gaming pricing with physical, the cost of goods goes to the sellers. Price with digital, different story. If all sellers sell their games as the same price, isn't that price fixing? It's a little odd. Well, yeah, he's got a point. Because you do have to spend for retail space and everything for a physical copy. However, you have that $30 like digital space or something with some of these companies, with Microsoft and Sony, I believe. But it's still cheaper to put out a digital game than it is a physical. It's still cheaper.
If you sell a digital PlayStation game or Xbox game, 95% of them are being bought on their respective store instead of like a third-party code site. That's very, very rare. So I don't know if the 30% markup really helps. It doesn't really alleviate the pain. We should have moved into the future where if you buy Halo Infinite or whatever digitally, that it should be $3 or $5 cheaper because you can't resell it. You can't take it to GameStop and say, all right, I have my fun, give me $30, and some other company's making money off of your purchase.
I did the math years ago. I looked it all up, the cost of goods sold and everything. And this, of course, was like 2018. So the prices now are a bit different. But back then, when I compared the price of the digital to the physical, they were making $27 more on the digital copy.
Interesting.
Than they were on the physical copy, because they're charging us full price. It's the same price, $27 more. And it's like, where's that savings to us? If you're saving $27, where is it for, the consumer?
Yeah.
Where's our cut? Where's our cut in price? We don't get that. Again, these companies are making a lot of money. That's why you saw that lawsuit with Sony going after them over this stuff, which I find kind of odd too, that you heard about that lawsuit, right? So
yeah,
there's somebody, there's some firm that is trying to sue Sony based on digital sales, saying that they've been price gouging essentially for many years. And the one thing I don't like about their wording in their lawsuit, which I feel like might even get thrown out, is that they kind of blame Sony for it all. And it's like, no, they're not really the only ones doing this. Everybody's doing it. Microsoft does it too. So I find the wording kind of odd, but yeah.
Yeah. And I Gaz is my co-host, and he he's a lawyer, but he gets to kind of understand how things work even outside of his expertise or his focus profession of what he does. But anyway, he was saying that this lawsuit's it'll just be thrown out. It won't go anywhere.
Yeah. See, I kind of thought so. And I'm no lawyer. I'm just some dummy, but I read it and I was like, this is kind of weird. The wording here.
It's one of those things of the media, and we can all talk about it, and it goes on fire for a little bit. But then once it gets down to like it gets into the court or something, or in places where we can't see, it'll just fizzle out and die. But it's just kind of part of the bad PR.
Nintendo, they're all guilty of it. They all.
And haven't you seen that PlayStation and Xbox have had their bad PR a lot this gen? It's like, I don't know. I think we're just kind of getting out of a rough stage for everybody. So.
Yeah. Anyways, folks, that is the show. We've gone way over. I apologize, but at the same time, I'm not sorry because I got to hang out with a good friend today and talk about all this stuff. Colt, let everybody know where they can find you, as if they don't know where already. Come on.
They
It's
might
Colt
not,
Eastwood.
but I have a channel called Colt Eastwood, one word, and I have a weekly show called the Xbox Newscast Podcast. That's will be going on tomorrow night, and I have a special guest on there because Gaz is out of town. He's out of the country. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, I took a couple weeks off while I got ready for my band to do a gig. So I'll be back to covering stuff. So hopefully some hot and heightened exciting news. Heightened and exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to get back into covering stuff. But I did kind of like lean back for a little bit. But yeah, it's been good.
It was a big week. Gamescom was definitely the highlight. And I'm surprised I'm even saying that because last year, the year before that, Gamescom was really nothing to me. It didn't really show us anything. But this year, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
And I hope next year the same thing happens again with it because it was great to see some new games I had not seen before. I'm excited for those. And like I said, I fully expect Sony to announce a show or something coming very soon, or at least a state of play that's going to show something to really wow people. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Let me segue into something real quick as we wind down. Like Xbox has a bunch of games that we've seen. We got somebody in the chat here who says they're waiting for that 12 teraflops to be shown. I don't know if you know this chat, but Dying Light just finally got its actual release as it would be on a console. It's now far outperforming the PlayStation 5 now that they were able to take the time. This is why we should delay games, Fonz. I say just give every game a year delay that's coming out over the next that's been coming out the past 2 years because they need it. But Dying Light looks incredible. Like it looks like it's supposed to now that they've had time to work with that game developers kit. But when you hear clowns say things like, I'm waiting for the 12 teraflops to be shown. Like you've proven to the world when you say that in a public space that you don't understand how game developers create games and make them look the way they do and utilize the hardware because
you said clowns.
That's right. Because one of your favorite games, Fonz, The Last of Us from 2013.
Yep, love it.
People are complaining about the remaster because not the way you think I'm going to. They're complaining about the remaster because that 2013 version looks so freaking good on 1 teraflops. Because teraflops have nothing to do with how great a game looks and how impressive it looks. Atomic Heart has nothing to do with 12 teraflops. It's the developer creating an amazing game. In fact, the best developers can make something. Is that music still playing?
Yes.
It's really difficult to keep my thought going straight here. I love it though. Developers that can make a game look fantastic and run on medium to low-level hardware, that's where the true magic is. And I could show you a shot of an in-engine cutscene from Gears 3 that rivals some of the games we've played over the past 2 years on 12 teraflops. So anyway, he's like, I'm just not in the business of damage controlling for Xbox. It's like, Illis, do me a favor. Open your ears and listen. Just listen. You'll learn so much. The gaming world is so much bigger than $2 words.
But here's the thing. We don't have to sit here and damage control for Xbox today. They're not doing anything wrong right now. So,
I think I spent probably 20 minutes of your show complaining about what I don't like with Xbox.
Yeah, we ranted about 2022 and how they don't have any big first-party games.
But
it is what it is. What are you
my main man from Nebraska, I love you that you're from Nebraska. Congratulations. You got your 5 minutes of spotlight. It's what you wanted. It's what you needed. People... Fonz, you know this all too well. People, they need that attention. They want people to look at them. Look at me. Look at me. But you put on a fantastic show. And every time you ask me, I don't care if I'm driving home late from a gig. I love doing your show, Fonz. Games Talk Live is awesome.
I just want people to look at me. Damn it.
All right. Hargeet Johnny, thank you very much for the late super chat. But he says, not sure the lawsuit has no merit. The other platforms allow third-party stores to sell digital codes. Sony doesn't. Oh, that's a good point. That
I
is
learned
a good
that from
point.
him.
Although the only thing he says also physical, there's an additional 20% cut on the amount made by the publisher. Yeah, Hargeet, you're 100% correct. I just was looking at it as, the wording in that lawsuit. It really, I wish I had it up, but it was like talking about Sony really being the sole, entity that is really like doing all this damage to people, or not, price gouging or whatever. And it's like, they're not the only ones, man. Xbox does it too. Sony, Nintendo does it too. Like they'd have to go through all of them and sue all of them over this stuff. But you're right about the digital code thing. They do not allow other places to sell their digital codes. That's so true. That's so true.
Somebody was asking me about Forza Motorsport 7 from 2017. It had to get pulled from the Xbox store because of licensing agreements had expired. But Hargeet's like, you can still buy it on these sites, and it's still normally priced. I think you can get it for $30 or $40. So it's still out there. Like these people are going around like, forget your licensed car deal you struck. We can still sell the game. And maybe they have leftover codes. I don't know how that works, but all is not over, I suppose. But I think in the present time, those deals are no longer 5 to 10 years. I think they're saying, hey, when we need licensed music, these games are living much longer, because you used to get a game on the PlayStation 3 and it would expire and it wouldn't be back at bat. So they would say, hey, let's only pay this much for licensing. Now I think they're way more forward thinking, and that benefits us.
Yeah. And Splendiferous, damn you.
I'm trying to close off the show. You just won't let me do it. Gosh.
Don't want you guys talking about my friend like that, he says. You got that clown music playing and you highlighted my Hargeet. What you trying to say, Fonzarillo? No, I'm not talking about Hargeet. We weren't talking about Hargeet with that clown music. That was about somebody else. It's not Hargeet.
Yeah.
Dang it. Hargeet knows he's a good friend. Anyways, people, Colt, did you tell him where to find you? Colt Eastwood? Twitter?
Yeah,
YouTube?
yeah. I'm on Colt Eastwood on YouTube and Colt Eastwood on Twitter. And we'll see how everything shakes out. It should be a good week.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. And I'm going to do Fonz's taxes after the show in this outfit.
No, you just like to dress up for the show. Anyways, folks, it was a very cool show. I'm very happy that you all, were in the chat today, and you guys are awesome. Everybody listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Until next week, folks. Oh, next week I have a couple of guests coming on. I won't announce them just yet, but it's okay. So I was looking through, I wanted to say perusing YouTube, but you're not really perusing. I guess you're reading what the videos are about. But anyways, I'm looking for other people in the gaming community that is not in our direct community, because I want to have some fresh faces on the show. And I found this little podcast that was going on with these two guys, and they were really entertaining, funny, cool. Like I really wanted to hear from them. I listened to their whole podcast and I was like, these guys are great. I hit them up and I said, hey, do you want to come on the show? And they're like, oh, we actually know you. And I was like, whoa, okay, cool. All right. Come aboard.
Sweet.
And so they will be with me next week. So I have two guests coming on, and it's going to be a fun show. It'll be a very fun show.
Are you going to tell me who it is after the show goes off the air?
We can talk about it. RDX Son of Fett with a late super chat. Thank you very much. He says, breaking news, Sony has acquired console exclusivity to price hiking. Okay. That's
messy.
Not good. Messy. RDX Son of Fett, how dare you? All right, folks, until next week, game on.